Hey guys, so today you and I are going to talk about what I actually do. So let's get into it. Well, the exact question here is, Frederick, what does coders or someone who writes code actually do? And this is a great question. So basically what we do, or what I do on a daily basis, is that I know how to program. And as you may know, programming is just me sitting with a programming language, which is just it's a, it's very similar to any language. It's imagine if I was a journalist and my job was to sit and write articles. I do a very similar thing here, but I do it in a different language than English or whichever language I would write in. And basically I write code that a computer can understand, or in a language that a computer can translate or can basically understand. And by writing it in the language that the computer can understand, I can make it do certain things right. So that's the basics of what programming is. I just know how to write a file, just as a Word document or any document, a text file, that contains instructions to the machine so that it knows how to do different computations and do certain things, right? And that's my skill. That's what I know how to do. So that means that now there are companies who need to write different systems, everything from websites to show off their products to might be internal systems to help them with their workflow. An example is you might have you yourself are probably using different websites all day. I mean, that's the sort of thing that we create these things. Different programmers work on different things, but in the essence of things, that's the sort of thing we do. Everything that you do, even just watching me on my little video here, you're basically running a computer program right now to make all of this happen. And there are most likely hundreds of developers that have built all of the different applications that you have on your phone or on your computer, right? So that is what our job is, to just write the code that tells the computer how to do these things, such as showing this video. And for me personally, what I do or most of the time is web-related work. So at my company, I literally every single day, I come into my office, I sit down with my coworkers, we have a bit of a morning chat, and then we have what we call the stand-up, where we just talk about, okay, I have different issues or different tasks ahead of me in the morning, and my coworkers have theirs, and we talk about what we need to do today. Like I might need to fix a bug, like a bug is just something that's going wrong within the system, or I might need to implement a new feature, like we need to add some new type of functionality, and it might be a requirement to do something like that. And there are a range of other things as well. Sometimes I need to write documentation. We might have a customer who says that, oh yeah, we're very interested in your product, but we don't really understand how it works. Can you kind of send us some documents that explains how the system works or how our solution or the feature that we want is going to work? And then I sit down and I map out on just a flow chart how the different network calls are going to work and like how the interaction between our system and their system is going to look. Sometimes it's about planning out work as well. You sit down with stakeholders. I sit with my project manager, says that, we have a roadmap here. In the next 6 months, we're going to have to support these features, and we want to, the ambition from our business coworkers is that we were going to have this amount of users, and we want to increase our conversion rates and things like that. We want to improve the system or make more money. How can we make that happen, Frederick? And I I sit with my coworkers and I say, yeah, we can do these sorts of things. We could scale up this part of the system. We need to refactor or like restructure code over here because it's gotten a little bit ugly over time, so we should probably clean that up. Or we have things that haven't been done yet because of deadlines and things like that. So most of what, that's some of it. And then of course, most of what I do is every day is to sit and actually write instructions to the computer and just write them in a file, and then pretty much just test it out to make sure that it works correctly. And when we're all happy and it's tested, the stuff that I've made, so that the computer does the correct thing, I will just start working on the next thing, or we release it out to the public. Because usually the way it goes is that I sit and work on as an example, if you use Facebook or YouTube or whichever application you use, the people who are actually working on YouTube and Facebook and like these applications, they usually have a a local version, like something that you can't access. It's just that it is the same application pretty much, or for the most part. It's just that they are running it on their own computer so that they can make sure that, and to test everything, to make sure that your buttons are working correctly and like all that stuff. And when they've finished their work and they're sure that the features that are needed are actually there, they're going to ship that code into what we call production, which is basically to update the system that you are using right now, so that you can reap the benefits of these new features or fixes to bugs and things like that. And that's pretty much what every single programmer does in some fashion. It's, yeah, there's not much more to it. So what I want you to take away from this is that programmers, or a person who writes code, literally what they do is that they know a language which allows them to express logic, things, instructions to a computer. And they write that in a file of some sort, and then the computer, you can tell the computer to execute all of these commands, basically. And apart from that, most of what they do is to talk and to implement new features, like new functionality that a system needs, or build a system from scratch. They might build a new website or build a new computer game or things like that. And then, of course, there's a lot of documentation, writing technical documents to explain to customers how the system can work, or how they, explain how it works, things like that. And yeah, writing a lot of instructions to a computer so that it does something that, for the most part, people are willing to pay money for. That's pretty much it. Have a great day.